today I wanted to do a top 5 video on 5 of the greatest heroes in Elder Scrolls history. These 5 heroes will be going off of my complete personal opinion, and to be fair, so it doesn't seem like I am copying out with the list, I cannot include any previous protagonists from any Elder Scrolls title. That would be easy. These have to be side heroes that had their own impact at some other point in history. I do hope you agree with me to an extent, and feel free to correct me or whatever in the comments below if I mess up. I am known to do that. Also, who's your favorite hero? My favorite hero is obviously Mike the Liar. What a dude. So we are going to kickstart the list by talking about one of the members of the Godly Tribunal, Vivek. As a general group, I think the Tribunal are kick-ass. I know the way they got there was a bit evil and stuff since they did stab Indoril Nerevar in the back for it, but they still to an extent did not end up evil and did a lot of good for Vvardenfell and Morrowind as a whole afterwards. So Vivek had done a lot when coming to protecting Morrowind. He has intervened in a good few wars. The Tree Banner Wars from Miso, the Akaviri invasions, and even the Four Scores War. He helped the Riemann dynasty fight off the Akaviri invasion by flanking the Tseski. I didn't pronounce that right, did I? It was a failed invasion anyway, and in years later when the Second Empire was trying to expand, they attempted to invade Morrowind, where Vivek then proceeded with his army to destroy them. Yeah, you don't mess with a god. Vivek helps Nerevar stop Dagon during the events of the Elder Scrolls tree, and I think the biggest thing we can give him is the massive meteor that he is holding above the city that was created for him. The city being Vivek City. Yes, he did disappear during the events of Oblivion, but we cannot forget these things which he did, and in my eyes are heroic. Plus, he stabbed Azura with his penis spear, come on. Ah, my boy Trin Amok. Poor Trin Amok, going from the champion of Oriel to legitimate feces from Boeotia. Poor guy. This dude was the strongest of Aedron. A fearsome warrior. This dude is the one who ripped out Lorkhan's heart. The magical artifact you spend the whole of Morrowind trying to stop, that belonged to Lorkhan, the trickster god. And Trin Amok literally walked up to him, smacked him to the ground and tore it out. What a dude. And yes, I already know someone is going to go, but Irish, Trin Amok is the figurehead of the High Elf Pantheon. Yeah, well, I'm a hypocrite, so deal with it. But he was a simple dude following his orders and doing the good he could. When the Exodus of the Chimer was kicking into action, what a great time he tried to get involved and stop it, like a hero does. But unfortunately, Daedric princes are Daedric princes, and Boeotia stepped in to only have a massive epic battle with Trin Amok. But unfortunately, Trin Amok lost and Boeotia devoured him, only to poop him back out later and turn him into the Daedric prince Malakat. And everyone who followed him was turned into an orc. So orcs are legitimately feces. Well, not legitimately, but their leader is Sirrah Doe, the legendary hero who nearly captured all of Tamriel except for Morrowind. His name has gone down in history as the ruler of the Second Empire, with it having lasted 200 long years. This man managed to not only hold off the Akaviri in their first invasion, but they then proceeded to support him, seeing him as the true Dragonborn after he showed overwhelming and great power at the Battle of the Pale Pass. I guess they just kind of liked him in his majestic way with words. His empire ended with his final heir being assassinated by the supposed Morag Tong, which then led to the end of the First Era. This is actually a story that some mighty sorceress found Riemann with the Amulet of Kings in his hands when he was a baby, and that this mystery woman brought him to the White Gold Tower immediately and put him directly onto the throne. What a cool baby. What a cool dude. So Riemann Cyrodiil was seen as a god conqueror, but he was a baby compared to my boy, my main man, Talos the Almighty. Tiber Septim, boys. It doesn't matter what Elder Scrolls game you have played, you have heard of this beautiful man. You more than likely heard of him in Skyrim though, with his worship being outlawed and the massive statues of him in particular places around Skyrim. Most notable is the one sitting inside of Whiterun, hovering above Heimskr, our favourite character. So what did Tiber Septim do that could possibly make him a hero? Well, he, you know, took the entire of Tamriel with the Numidium. Can you imagine what that looked like for people taking him on? This tiny guy with an awesome beard just standing below a huge brass colossus. How goddamn epic. He was the victor of the Great Tiber Wars. Not only that, but when he died, he ended up ascending as a divine. It was no longer the 8 divines, but the 9. He's a powerful dude. Quite possibly the most interesting and epic hero to me personally in all of the Elder Scrolls, Pelennor Whitestrake. God, I love this guy's history and the stories involving him. This painting that was done by someone of the glass window, which depicts him fighting Umaril the Unfettered. God, can we please make this fight a movie? It would just be so cool. So Pelennor is known to have roamed during the Meretic era, helping build up kingdoms and lands, and then just disappearing and moving on to do the same exact thing somewhere else. Kind of like a badass version of Jesus, you know, roaming around helping others. But he did did much cooler things than that. He fought alongside the demigod Morihaus during the slave rebellion war led by Elysia. He helped beat the Aelids, respect for anybody who defeats elves if I do say so myself, but he died a hero's death in my opinion, kind of. Accepting the challenge to face Umaril himself, only to be ambushed by a bunch of Umaril's men. He still fought them all off. He was bloodied and half beaten when Umaril took him on, but guess what? Pelinal still defeated him. But due to how weak he was, the other elf kings came in afterwards and cut him up into 8 different pieces. The story of the legend Pelinal Whitestrike. So anyways guys, I really enjoyed discussing these few heroes with you. I hope you enjoyed the video yourselves. Do you have any suggestions for future top 5s you'd like me to discuss? It's, you know, you can leave them below. I will always consider them. If you enjoy Elder Scrolls content too, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more facts, lore and topics, all Elder Scrolls related in the future and done by this majestic Irish voice. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed and I will see you next time.